Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us on News at Prime. Let's take you to matters making headlines further afield. International activist groups Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch are urging the Commonwealth heads of state meeting to help pressure Rwanda to release jailed dissidents and extend freedom of expression to all citizens. Campaigners want the East African country, ruled by President Paul Kagame since the end of the 1994 genocide, to also allow an international investigation into high-profile cases involving rights violations, including the death of gospel singer Kizito Mihogo. Joining us now to explain their campaign is Etienne Mutabazi, South African-based spokesperson for the opposition Rwanda National Congress. A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. A lot of pressure on Rwanda. What are some of the human rights issues that are being faced there?
Good evening, Paul. Thank you for inviting me. I think using the word pressure, I think, is not quite good, because this is normally what is supposed to be on the agenda. Is not a pressure, it's rather a reminder of the obligation of any state, including Rwanda, should be looking at. So you were raising the issue of freedom of expression, but let's start rather with the right to life, because you mentioned the murder of Kizito Mihigo, who was killed in 2019, I believe my memory tells me right, in February, and we only have the narrative from the government, and no independent source was allowed to investigate the matter. We have many backlog with respect to the right to property, where citizens of Rwanda are just not expropriated, but they are just chased away from their property and not given other means of living. We have issue of freedom of assembly. You've said the freedom of expression. Let's also add political participation. There is no such in Rwanda. And also, maybe something which we will not find anywhere on paper, where the citizens of Rwanda are insulted by the senior government. You will even hear the president of the republic insulting the citizen rather than showing respect towards the same citizen. And again, against what we have said and what I have alluded to, there is no investigation or prosecutors of perpetrators.
So with these serious violations, what then are the constraints when it comes to media and civil rights groups and their struggles when it comes to freedom of expression?
We have a big problem here, Paul, because even the journalists who were trying to air the views of the people in Rwanda are in jail now. We have assisted to incidents of arrest of YouTube bloggers like a journalist, Theoneste Nsengimana, Kyuma, Hassan Diedone, Professor Kayumba, and many others. I'm just quoting a name through my memory, but the list is too long. And if you read into the joint statement in which 24 international organization, non-government organization, let me be specific, you can even see that none is of Rwandan origin. It means that those are independent people who have put together their views in terms of their obligation and as a human being, and they say there's no freedom of expression in Rwanda because no one can say what is going on in Rwanda, because any independent journalist is in jail now or is dead. We only consume what the government wants us to consume through some newspaper and the media people who are much closer to the government, and most of whom we do know for sure that they are from the intelligence of the government of Rwanda. So that cannot be an independent account. This is a view of a government which is in fact abusing and persecuting its own people.
So what is your strategy as the opposition in terms of heeding the call, adding and putting pressure as the campaigners who want the East African country now to allow the international high-profile investigations to take place?
The first one and most easy one is what we are doing now, to continue raising this issue, and we are very happy and indeed very thankful to the whole world, especially this organization that can say, as defender of humanity, we also need to look into the Rwandan situation. But as Rwandan in the opposition, you said I am the spokesperson of Rwanda National Congress. This has been at the core of our agenda. We will continue to raise these issues with facts, not those facts in the framework of what we've heard of the government of Rwanda, where they invent a situation, they translate them into facts, which is not the case. We are saying, if we said journalists, and we give a name, we give a date of the imprisonment, and we said this journalist was not to be in a prison as we speak, because I recall a situation where journalists were put in jail simply because they have read a book. That is a charge.
So what is President Kagame's response with all eyes on the country now for the release and investigations?
No, he will first of all deny, and if he does not deny, he will just rubbish it, saying that it does not matter. You've heard the President Kagame challenging journalists, saying, why should they teach them about human rights? As if human rights should not feature on his agenda. So, in a few words, I would say that President Kagame does not care for Rwandan human rights, and he has repeated it in many instances in Rwanda and outside of Rwanda. So this is an issue we can come up to it again. He does not care. That's not his concern.
Very well. We're going to have to leave it there for now. Thank you for giving your view. Joining us there was Etienne Mutabazi, South African-based spokesperson for the opposition Rwanda National Congress, just speaking to the issues and the pressures in Rwanda by Amnesty and other human rights groups, urging some intervention there. So